This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
So Anthony Joshua is refusing to mention the name of Deontay Wilder, directly of course. And the reason being is quite simple, because Wilder has been for the last year or two just using Anthony Joshua's name as clout. He's been clout chasing him, okay, using it for profile. I want to fight Anthony Joshua, he's scared and blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. Well, here's a contract. Nah, you're right, I'm not signing that. For no amount of money, contract delivered directly to him by Pigeongram, ain't signing it. Even for $100 million. I ain't signing that. Didn't even try to negotiate for undisputed. And Wilder kept changing the goalposts here, there and everywhere. Basically, he never wanted to fight with Anthony Joshua. But yet people expect Anthony Joshua, after he defeated Andy Ruiz Jr. this past weekend, to be mentioned in the name of Deontay Wilder, trying to make the undisputed fight is what they say. Well, a couple of facts for you here. First of all, and it's very, very important that everybody listens up to this point, right before Anthony Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz Jr., what happened? Well, I'll remind you. Deontay Wilder came out and said, I will 100% be fighting Luis Ortiz next. I've already signed. Then I'll be fighting Tyson Fury back to back. Tyson Fury and Wilder have 2 fights coming up in 2020. So that's him frozen out for an entire year. Contract's already been signed. Have they not? Tyson Fury even said, if Wilder tries to pull out, I'll sue him. Wilder said about Fury, if Fury pulls out, I'll sue him. Okay, in other words, these guys have a legally binding contract. So Undisputed cannot override a contract that they have. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is the fact that the IBF and WBO mandatories have both been called. In fact, they haven't just been called now, they've been called for quite some time. So one of the belts, IBF or WBO, by the looks of it, is going to have to be vacated. And he's going to have to fight one of the mandatories. So he has no choice. Alexander Usyk and keep the WBO, or fight Kubrat Pulev, keep the IBF. Whichever one you fight, you're going to lose the other one. That's pretty much how it is. This is what happens when you are a unified heavyweight champion of the world. See, Anthony Joshua, he ran around and collected all the belts one at a time. WBO, IBO came together, of course. But he did all that one after the other. He did all the hard work, so Wilder didn't have to, okay? Wilder can carry on fighting the Spilkers and the Duapas of the world. That's what Wilder could do. But Deontay Wilder comes in after doing literally nothing and demands Undisputed. Well, first of all, you didn't deserve it because you haven't unified once, even though that you were heavyweight champion way before Anthony Joshua was. But you never unified. You never even attempted to unify. Again, kept making excuses. Even your own manager said, Wilder's still a baby. He's not ready for these kind of fights yet. Shay Finkel said that. His own manager. So Joshua does all the hard work. Joshua builds the profile. Joshua brings all the money. And that Wilder, I want 50-50. Based on what? Based on what exactly? But regardless of that, Joshua, DAZN, offered Deontay Wilder $100 million for Undisputed. 2 fights back-to-back, with the first fight being in America. Because we all know that Wilder is petrified of defending his titles outside of the America. I said titles, I meant title, WBC. He's never defended or fought in a world title fight outside of America. Never done it. Joshua has. Joshua has defended his title outside of England on quite a few occasions. New York, okay, that didn't turn out too well. He still did it. Saudi Arabia, another world title fight. He won that one. Cardiff, twice in Wales. So Anthony Joshua does actually travel with his belt. He's being a world champion, something that Wilder never has done. And the reason that I'm saying this is because Wilder once said that Anthony Joshua is a UK champion. He's not a world champion because he didn't defend his belt outside the United Kingdom, which is pretty bizarre considering that Wilder's never defended his belt outside of the United States of America. Even now, to this day, he still hasn't done it. He's got a rematch with Tyson Fury. You would think that because Fury went to America first time around and did actually beat Wilder, but of course got a draw, you would think that Deontay Wilder would return the favour and fight in the UK, wouldn't you? No. He ain't doing that. The next fight's going to be in America, isn't it? So it's that point. So again, the reason that Anthony Joshua is not mentioning Wilder's name is because he's sick of him. Wilder is a time waster. He's a time waster. Doesn't matter what Wilder says. He can come out and say, I'll fight Anthony Joshua tomorrow, no problem. Any money that you offer me, I'll fight him. I don't care what Wilder says. Nobody cares what Wilder says. It's all lies. Always was lies. Only the weak-minded zombies actually believe what it is that Wilder says. Because he's never once backed it up. Never once backed it up. So people say, well, why is it Anthony Joshua is not mentioning the name of Wilder? Very simple. Why give him profile when he's not next? This is what Joshua said in the beginning. I don't want to talk about Wilder until we're actually fighting. If we fight, I'll mention him. We'll talk about him. But until then, I don't want to. But people can say, well, what about Wilder? What about Undisputed? What about this? Eventually, Joshua broke and then started talking about it. Tried to make the fight numerous times. And Wilder wasn't interested. So again, Joshua is back to Wilder ain't next. Because Wilder's already frozen himself out. He has legally binding contracts that says he can't get out of fighting Tyson Fury now. Contracts that Deontay Wilder voluntarily took before Anthony Joshua even lost to Andy Ruiz Jr. the first time. So Wilder took himself out. Wilder nut huggers. So chill out. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.